Hello everyone, I welcome you all to my channel Revealing Concepts. In today's class, we would be learning a new topic in geography, that is volcanoes. Again, this topic is relevant to various standards in NCERT, so that would be mentioned in the title itself so that you can refer and then see the video. Now let's start. Let us first see the structure of the volcano, and from this I would be defining what exactly volcano is. Now here if you see, this is the Earth's crust, and below the Earth's crust we have the mantle, we have the asthenosphere in the mantle. Now here if you see, there's a vent that is there. So what is volcano? Volcano is basically a magma that has been erupted through the vent that is there on the Earth's crust. So whenever the molten material that is there in the interior of the Earth is vented out on the surface of the Earth through the vent. So here if you see, this is the vent and this is the magma chamber. Here you have the molten material which is called as the magma, and hence this is called as the magma chamber. If you try to remember the first video of the interior of the Earth where I told you about the asthenosphere, we all remember that asthenosphere is that part of the interior of the Earth which has got semi-solid material in it. That is, it has got molten material in it. So here if you see, this magma chamber is nothing but the asthenosphere of the interior of the Earth, और यहाँ से एक vent open होता है, and through this vent the magma goes up to the surface of the Earth or to the Earth's crust. So what is volcano or what is volcanic eruption? It is basically the venting out of a molten material from the interior of the Earth through the vent or an opening. Okay, so here this is the general structure of a volcano. Again, this is the Earth's crust, this is the mantle, or this is the magma chamber. From here the magma travels up to the Earth's crust. Now this particular straight pipe-like structure is called as the vent. As the name suggests, vent would be a straight pipe-like structure, and then you have a flowy material which is called as lava, and the opening is called as the crater. Now the source of this volcano or the magma material, as I told you, it is the mantle which is in the interior of the Earth. वहाँ से सारा magma ऊपर आता है. So the source of the volcano or volcanic eruption is the mantle. यहाँ से धीरे धीरे the volcanic eruption starts. The magma starts to move and suddenly it erupts out. Now there are two words that are interchangeably used, but we are now going to exactly understand what is the difference between these two words. Which are those two words? Those two words are magma and lava. Now what is the difference between magma and lava? Magma is the molten material that is there in the interior of the Earth, और जब वही molten material Earth के surface पे आ जाता है, that is called as the lava. So basically the material or the volcanic material, the magma material that is there in the interior, in the asthenosphere, उसको magma बोलते हैं, and when it comes up to the Earth's crust, it is called as lava. So whenever I say the word magma, you have to associate it with the interior of the Earth, and whenever I say lava, I am talking about the material that is there on the surface of the Earth which we can see. So now when this magma through the magma chamber reaches to the Earth's crust in the form of lava, what all materials are there in this? So we have something called as pyroclastic debris. Now what is this? This is a term that is given to the material that has been vented out through this volcanic eruption, right? So pyroclastic debris is there. Then there is volcanic bombs. We have ash and dust along with it. So here if you see, if this is the lava, uske upar we can see ash, we can see dust, we can see water vapors as well. So in terms of gases, which gases are being vented out? So there is nitrogen, sulfur, chlorine, hydrogen, argon, carbon dioxide, and water vapor. So it is not just water vapor or it is not just carbon dioxide that is being vented, but apart from these two gases, there are other gases, some dust particles, some ash particles, and in general all of this is called as the pyroclastic debris. So this is what, or this material reaches to the ground when a volcanic eruption takes place. Now, the classification of volcanic eruption is done in two ways, or we can say volcanic eruptions are classified in two manners, as it is written over here, extrusive landform and intrusive landform. Now, I'll explain you exactly what is this. The classification or volcanoes are being classified based on how they erupt in the first form. So किस तरह से उनका इरप्शन होता है, इज द इरप्शन मोर वायलेंट इन नेचर, मोर एक्सप्लोसिव इन नेचर, या थोड़ा पैसिव टाइप होता है, एंड एट द सेम टाइम वंस इट इज इरप्टेड किस टाइप का वो लैंडफॉर्म फॉर्म करता है. Like here if you see, when you talk about the extrusive landforms, these are basically the landforms that are formed on the surface of the earth, and that is why they are called as extrusive, जो बाहर है, which we can see. And then the second one is the intrusive landform. We would be now in this video just learning about the extrusive landforms, and in the next video we would be learning about the intrusive landforms as well. So the classification of volcanoes is done in two ways depending upon the landforms that are formed after the volcanic eruptions. जो landforms that are formed outside or on the surface of the earth, they are called as extrusive landforms, and the ones that are formed in the interior of the earth are called as the intrusive landforms. Now first we are going to start with extrusive landforms. Now don't get confused कि we are going to learn about landforms. No, we are going to learn about different types of volcanic eruptions only, but we have classified them in this manner कि अभी ये जो volcanoes अपन learn करने वाले हैं, they are going to form extrusive landforms. So ये जो सारे अभी we are going to learn whatever volcanic eruptions now on, they would be giving rise to, or the resultant product would be a landform which I and you can see on the surface of the earth. So the first type of volcano is shield volcano. Again, if the question comes in exam, shield volcano is a type of which gives rise to which type of landform, extrusive or intrusive? It is extrusive because this is something which we can see. Now, why the name shield volcano? Here if you see, this is the general structure or diagram of a shield volcano. Again, this is the crust, this is your magma chamber, here is your magma which is there in the interior of the earth, and this is the vent. Now whenever the magma travels through the vent in case of shield volcano, what happens is, it instead of rising up to a greater height, it spreads horizontally, it spreads to a very great extent, so such that it gives rise to a shield-like structure. So I hope you all have seen shields which are being used during battles. So if you try to remember the shape of those shields, they are like dome-like, but again they are very flat in nature or they are broader in nature. So here if you see, ये जो volcanic eruption हुआ है, उसके बाद एक landform बना है. Now this landform if you see, this is in the shape of a shield. इसीलिए इसका नाम शील्ड वोल्केनो दिया है. Now why is this in the form of shield and why it is not a mountain? Normally we have this idea that volcanoes will always give rise to a mountainous landform, but that is not the case. ये ऐसा क्यों है? Because in case of shield volcano, which is one particular type of volcano, the magma that is there, it is less viscous. The viscosity of that magma is less. It is very low. Now, what do you mean by less viscous or viscosity is low? Viscosity is basically how thick the liquid is. So the thickness. Now, let's say that if you have water and if you have honey, okay, and if you try to pour both of this on a slanting surface, of course water is going to reach first to the end point of the slanting surface, whereas honey is going to reach later, means not before water. Why is that so? That is because honey is more viscous, it is thick in nature. So basically the thickness of a liquid is called as viscosity. So जितना high viscosity होगा उतना उसी fluid को और उसी liquid को flow करने के लिए ज़्यादा resistance मिलेगा, and that is why it wouldn't flow for a longer distance. But in this case, इसका जो magma है, in case of shield volcano, that is it is less viscous in nature. अभी वो लेस विस्कस है एसोसिएटेड विथ वाटर. सो अगर वो लेस विस्कस है, इट मीन्स दैट इट कैन फ्लो टू अ ग्रेटर डिस्टेंस. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ राइजिंग टू अ ग्रेटर हाइट, इट इज गोइंग टू फ्लो हॉरिजॉन्टली अक्रॉस द सरफेस ऑफ द अर्थ, जिसकी वजह से यू कैन सी द शील्ड लाइक स्ट्रक्चर. तो सिंस उसका फ्लो बहुत डिस्टेंस तक जा सकता है बिकॉज ऑफ लेस विस्कोसिटी, इसकी वजह से वी कैन से दैट इट फॉर्म्स अ शील्ड लाइक स्ट्रक्चर. सो इफ एनी लिक्विड इज लेस विस्कस इन नेचर, उसका फ्लो बहुत ज्यादा रहता है और उसका स्पीड भी बहुत ज्यादा रहता है. नाउ सिंस द स्पीड इज मोर, द फ्लो इज मोर, it can travel to a larger distance. That is why we have got this shield-like structure. Area-wise also, if you see, this is the largest. The area that it covers on the surface of the earth horizontally, the shield volcano is the largest of all the extrusive type of volcanoes that we are going to see ahead. Also, it is made up of basalt. So the rocks that would be formed would be composed of basalt, the basalt rock. So shield volcanoes gives rise to basaltic rocks, and they are not that explosive in nature. मतलब of course volcanoes तो explosive रहते हैं, but when you try to compare its explosivity with other volcanoes that we would be learning ahead, इसका थोड़ा कम रहता है. So this is what shield volcano is all about. Now let's move on to the next type, which is the composite volcano. Now here again you will understand why this is called as composite volcano. As the name suggests, composite as in composition of more than one materials. So इस volcano में we get to see different layers of materials as I have written in the last line. But now let us first understand the structure of it. Again, this is the structure. If you see, this is your magma chamber, this is the vent. Here what happens is, since the magma in this case has got more viscosity. Now here it was less viscosity, but here it is more viscous. तो वो ज्यादा distance travel नहीं कर पाएगा horizontally. So it is just going to go up, and it might travel a little distance, not more. It is not going to go farther. So here, since the magma is more viscous in nature, तो इसका flow भी कम रहेगा, इसका speed भी कम रहेगा. So what happens is, whenever if let's say this is your vent, whenever the volcano erupts, वो erupt होके इधर ही गिरेगा. Magma is going to fall near the vent or the opening only, और ऐसा करके it would give rise to a mountain like structure which would have a steep slope. In this case, this did not have a steep slope because it's shield like है. It would not even look like a mountain also. But in this case, it gives rise to a very steep slope because it is more viscous, flow कम है, speed कम है. इसकी वजह से इसकी हाइट भी ज्यादा रहेगी. It is also more explosive in nature. So when you talk about composite volcanoes, the explosivity or the intensity of explosivity is high in case of composite volcanoes. And it not only has basalt, but इसके अलावा में ash भी मिलती है, and other materials are also been found, and that is why we can say that you get layers of different materials. So whenever you try to see a composite volcanoes, the mountain of it has got different layers. We can differentiate them through different colors that we can observe. So we get to see different layers in this case, in the case of composite volcanoes. Those layers could be observed because we see different colors. So उसके हिसाब से वो different layers को अपन differentiate कर सकते हैं. So this is how we have seen what exactly is composite volcanoes. Now the third type of volcano is caldera. Again, this is the extrusive landform only that is formed on this volcano gives rise to the extrusive landform, which is the landform that is formed on the surface of the earth. Now here, caldera is similar to that of composite volcano. So the overall structure of caldera and composite volcano is same, but the only difference in caldera type of volcano is the mouth of the volcano in case of caldera is big. Here if you see, it's small the size of this mouth is small. In case of caldera, it would be big. So in exam the question might come that which volcano out of composite and caldera has got big mouth. So in that case the answer would be caldera, because this is the only difference that exists between a caldera type of volcano and a composite volcano. Also, since it has got a big mouth, it means that the amount of magma that is vented out through the vent via this mouth is also large in quantity. That is why caldera is one of the most explosive volcanoes. But at the same time, if you try to compare its height with the composite volcano, the height of a caldera volcano is less than that of a composite volcano. So to sum it up, there are three things that we have learned about caldera volcano in comparison with the composite volcano. कि कैल्डेरा वोल्केनो एक ऐसा वोल्केनो है which is similar to that of composite volcano in terms of structure, but the only difference that exists between these two is that caldera volcano has got a bigger mouth, and at the same time it is most explosive and its height is less than that of a composite volcano. The fourth type of volcano is the flood basalt province volcano. Now, the name might be complicated, but the volcano is very simple to understand. As the name suggests, flood basalt province, meaning first of all, basalt meaning the composition is कि जब वो solidify होगा तो it would give rise to basalt rocks and flood. So whenever there is flooding, we try to understand it कि there is water on the surface of the earth that has been spreaded for a longer distance, you could say. The water is spreaded across a wide surface area. So in this case also, since it has got it here, if you see, the nature of the lava is highly fluid, उसकी viscosity बहुत कम है, and that is why the speed of lava in this case is very high, its flow is very high, and that is why it flows like a river, and hence it is called as a flood basalt province. Now इस case में क्या होता है कि mountains तो form होते नहीं, this wouldn't also give rise to shield type of volcano, तो ऐसा shield type of structure भी नहीं होगा because it has got a very less viscosity. So here whenever the lava solidifies, it gives rise to a plateau. So अपन को एक flat surface मिलता है, and Maharashtra plateau is an example of the flood basalt province. So Maharashtra plateau is formed due to volcanic eruption, और वहाँ पे कौन सा type of volcanic eruption हुआ था, तो वो flood basalt province था. इस case में जो lava or the magma that erupts from the interior of the earth, वो उसकी viscosity बहुत कम रहती है, and that is why the lava, when it comes out to the surface of the earth, it flows like a river. It goes up to much distance and it solidifies, giving rise to a plateau type of a landform. Now the last one in case of extrusive landforms is the mid-oceanic ridges volcano. Now up till now whatever we have seen, those were on the surface. This is on the ocean floor. So it's not just that the surface experiences volcanic eruptions. Volcanic eruptions also take place under the sea on the ocean floor. So this type of volcanoes जो ocean floor पे erupt होते हैं, क्यों erupt होते हैं? Because whenever there is divergence. Now what do you mean by divergence? So whenever, let's say that you have two types of we can say movements that takes place on the ocean floor and of course on the earth's surface also. So whenever the plates move close to each other in this form, this is called as convergence, and whenever the plates move away from each other, they are tearing apart, that is called as divergence. So इस case में क्या होता है? So we are not concerned about convergence, we are concerned about divergence. So divergence is the main reason which gives rise to mid-oceanic ridges volcano. इस case में क्या होता है? That the oceanic floor is been torn apart due to divergence. यहाँ पे एक vault create होता है. Eventually a vent has been created and then the volcanic eruption takes place through this vent, giving rise to something called as mid-oceanic ridges volcano. So that's all for today. In today's video, we started with knowing what is a volcano. We have defined what is a volcano. We understood the structure of it. Then we saw the two types of classification based on the landforms that are formed after volcanic eruptions. extrusive and intrusive. इस वीडियो में we have specifically seen what is extrusive, what are extrusive landforms, मतलब ऐसे कौन से volcanoes है that gives rise to extrusive landforms. उसमें we have seen 5 types. So that's all for today. If you have any doubts, you can post them down in the comment section, and I would be really happy to solve your doubts. And please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.